Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Straight Talk for Energy Healers. My name is Rain Aurora. I am an energy healer. I am the creator of the healing modality called the Accelerated Release Technique. As well, I am the author of the book, The Energy Healing Bible. And I am here on a mission. My mission is to help other energy healers like yourselves to be able to live your life's purpose, to do the things that you want to do, i.e., to help as many people as possible, to share your gifts and touch as many lives as you can without going broke. Because let's face it, energy healers, it's a little struggle to get us out there. We don't have the same kind of cachet, um, the same support system, and like I said, it's my mission to provide you with that, to provide you with my own knowledge and expertise. I've done this for a little while, and as well to connect you with other professionals who can help you on your entrepreneurship journey. Because if you're a healer, it's not just about being great at what you do, it's about having the support system in place to allow you to actually share your gifts. So today I have an awesome guest. Her name is Tasia Keeng. She is a interior designer, and she does Feng Shui, and she does so many other things. She does angel healing. She has she shifts the energy in your home. She's just extraordinary. I've known Tasia for a while now. It is wild what she can do just by moving a few things in your home and shifting the energy around. And I can't even explain it. I'm going to bring her out so she can explain it. But she has done some amazing things for me, myself personally. And I'm really, really excited to be able to share her with you. And we're going to have a fun time here in the next little bit. So without further ado, come on out, Tasia.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I am good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so glad to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me,
You're
love.
always so much fun to chat with. So we're going to get this started because this show is called Straight Talk for Energy Healers. So I try to keep it short, to the point, not a lot of bumps. So in a nutshell, tell everybody what you do.
Well, I would say I come into a space and I shift the space from wherever it is at, whatever is happening with it, to a place that feels calm, peaceful. I want to basically create a soul space for people where they feel abundance, they feel harmony and balance. And for most people, they have a hard time creating that in especially the home space. And the home is essentially where everything starts in a person's life anyway. So I'm not only going to be doing it for people, but also for the families and whatever they need to do. And if you have a home office, we definitely want to shift it to a positive, abundant space.
100%.
So exactly what I do. I go into spaces and I move them.
Okay, so along those lines, so what is your special gift? I call it your superpower that makes you amazing at what you do.
Well, I have the scientific training as an intervener for individuals who are deafblind. So I'm skilled in sensory input systems, brain access, environmental psychology. Obviously, you mentioned the Feng Shui, which is the science. But along with all of that, I'm also intuitive. So I'm clairvoyant, I'm intuitive, I'm an angel medium. And to all of that, that sounds like big woo-woo, but it really isn't. When I design
energy healers love it. They get it. It's not woo-woo for them.
Yeah, it's not woo-woo. So I come into a space and I kind of am able to connect with a person's soul to create the soul space.
Yes.
That's the best way of saying it. I find what your soul needs and what it really desires and what it's looking at, because it is supposed to be a soul space, regardless of where your heart really attaches itself to, and I create that. So that's the biggest gift that I can say I have, being with whatever I do intuitively.
Yes. And Yeah, I can attest to that. I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'm going to expand and expound a little bit.
Sure.
So my audience is energy healers. Why might they want the service that you have to offer? And specifically, although we kind of just established that, why might they want to work with you?
Well, I think of it as being an energy healer myself, right? When I go out and do the work that I do, it is exhausting. I'm always tired. And because we're always giving and we're expending energy, even though we don't think we are giving out energy, we come back to our homes and we try and replenish and we heal. And we do that. But what I would say to anybody out there is that don't you want to do it faster? Don't you want to get to the faster? So, what I essentially do is I use all the incredible science and whatever I have intuitively, the gifts I have to bring you to that healing and the replenishment faster, especially if you're doing it day after day. As an energy healer, you want to use the gentle, natural resources that you have around you within your home and for you and your family to be in a space of absolute joy and harmony. Why wouldn't you want to get there faster? Or would you want to just like toddle along? I don't like toddling.
Me neither. Yeah. So I want to, so I'm gonna take it a little bit. So Tasia, she hasn't really even scratched the surface of the feeling on the benefit end. Um, it is all right. I had a conversation with somebody one day, which I love. I love looking at the world in this kind of perspective. Like there's um what did she say? There's like three kinds of, she uses the term luck. There's three things, generally speaking, that influence how our day-to-day lives work. One is star luck. So so that's the astrological stuff. Like what's your destiny? What were you born with? What are the big picture things that you're going to expect to see in your life? Like what are the big challenges? Um, and if you've done your chart, you kind of know, you kind of know what to expect. You can mitigate some of the problems that are part of your destiny. Or it's not always problems. If you're destined to do great things, you need to learn how to get out of your own way. there's there's lots of stuff that's in that element of who we are. And then there's man luck. That's the kind of stuff I do. That's the stuff within our energy field, the beliefs, the emotions, the stuff that we are like the emotional baggage that we carry with us on a day-to-day basis, and how we can shift that. And then there is earth luck. And that is our environment, how the energy of the environment impacts us. Tasia and I, like Tasia has done some really cool things, like even with my office. All right. So my office, she's done a Feng Shui report. I'm gonna have her tell a little bit more about the whole thing. But the different areas in your home have different um, naturally occurring, say, elements, certain energy types that are stronger or weaker in the home, and they either oppose what's going on in you, or they synergize with you, and they support you. So I'm, she would say, an earth element, and I'm not going to get into all the explanation because I'm going to screw it up. But I'm an earth element, and my office is fire, and apparently earth is great for sorry, fire is great for earth, but my walls are all blue. Blue is water. So it was interesting because she nailed it. She says, "Well, you've got a really supportive space that you're in, but the surroundings are dampening your energy." And I went, "Oh, that's really weird." So what did she do? She had me paint all my walls. We took out the blue. She shifted a little bit of stuff in my office, and boy, oh boy, this is a so much nicer space to work in. And I walked into my room before. I'm like, it's pretty. It looks nice, but she knows what you need. And I love this space so much more. I'm so much happier in it. I'm more creative in it. Um, and it's and sh we changed the wall color. and I shifted my furniture around. I didn't do anything big, but it was big. And that has sold me, sold me on, if I didn't believe it before, I am 1,000% convert to the principles of Feng Shui, and Tasia is pretty wild herself. So yeah, I wonder if you wanted to fill in some of the gaps there, because I'm sure you did full
Sure.
explanation
Well,
that clients might want.
well, I guess a lot of people don't really understand what feng shui is because, you know, it's always linked or accrued to like organization or some kind of superstition. Sorry, guys. And for it basically is just physics. It's like quantum physics. So when you're talking about natural elements in your environment, what you were talking about, Renew, like, you know, yes, your room was fire, I remember that. And then you are the earth element. And I tell people, please don't look at the Chinese astrological calendar because that's wrong. That's based on some kind of Chinese folktale. And this is kind of a science. It's a binary mathematical system. And all feng shui does is it really looks at how negative or how positive a space is, the interaction with you, and we all are creative energy ourselves. So if you think of the energy outside, it's all got patterns and structures, and we have energy systems in us, right? Like we have electrical systems going through us. Our brain has, you know, systems. Our heat, you know, when we digest food, those are all systems. Our hair grows, they're all energy. And how does that compute with you and your environment? Now, if you're in Discord, you talked about the magnets. I always say, like things attract, and you know, then they repel. So the Earth itself has, you know, magnetic fields. We have, you know, like tons of energy systems from heat, the natural elements, and all we're doing is gently guiding the environment so that it works for you and you work with the environment. So not only does it create energy, because it can either destroy or create, and if you don't know how to work it, it can actually work in the opposite direction, which we don't want. It can actually not only bring better health, it actually brings a ton more abundance. I don't know, have you found that your income levels or you know your business has
Oh, my business
expanded?
has been doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah, and that's what it does, because that's
I
also
don't
the
know that
benefit.
it's all the office, but
No,
it's
it's the office.
certainly
Because that
part of
probably started
my,
going whoop the moment we changed the room, and
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've seen it many
Yeah.
times before.
Yeah. Oh, and okay, so there was one thing you mentioned earlier I just got to share. Some stuff is just wacky, really wacky. So you're talking about energizing, right? So I told Tasia in my bedroom, um, I was always cold. I mean, like I'd get into my bed and it didn't matter how many, like I'd have to wrap myself in layers of blankets to not feel cold. It's like something was draining my energy, although I never put it in those terms. And at the same time as Tasia did the report on my office, she said, "Oh, well, which side of the bed do you sleep on?" And I told her where I was, and she says, "Well, okay, well, that side of the bed is actually, because the room's really big, it covered two
What we call the palaces, the squares.
palaces. Okay, two distinct areas, like where there was different
Elements.
primary elements that were um, in force or whatever, that were particularly noticeable." And she said, "Well, you're on the, what was it, metal. So, like where you're sleeping, the key element is metal, and metal actually drains or destroys earth. But on the other side of that room is actually earth. So you might want to consider like switching to the other side of the bed." And I'm like, "Okay." All right, I can. Oh my God. I I got into there the first day and I was warm. I'm like, "What the hell?" The weirdest thing ever. Like literally, moving 3 feet over to the other side was enough for me to not need to wrap myself in blankets. I just like lay in. I'm like, "Wow, this is really comfortable over here." It's the same bloody mattress. So that again, it's magic. It's
Well, that's
something
that's the
weird.
one thing. A lot of people come to me and go, "Are you going to move my furniture around? Are you going to do like big things? Do I have to renovate?" And I'm like, half the time, I'm like, not really. I mean, yours was an extreme case where I asked you to paint the walls because if I could get away with it, I wouldn't even ask you to do that. But yours was kind of like, okay,
It was a kind of dark blue. It was very blue.
because for ladies and gentlemen, because the room is fire, and then she had her walls painted blue. Blue is representative of water. What does water do to a fire? It puts out the fire. So it puts out the prosperity and the energy in the room. So that's the reason why we had to paint it. But if I can get away with you just moving things around your house, putting simple things in a place, there really isn't much that we need to do to shift it. It's really, when I say minimal changes, if I can get away with it and I know you can get away with it, then we do it. And at the same time, we decorate and design your space so that it looks beautiful, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay. Now, we are closing. We are getting to the time I like to usually wrap up. You did say to me earlier that you've got a special offer for my guests. Do you want to let them know what it is?
Sure. So I was thinking about this. Like, I do a lot of different things, but for anybody who's an energy healer, I would say the Feng Shui report is essential because
Mm.
you want to know what the energy in your space is doing to you. And as Renu just explained, when you don't know, it actually does, beyond making you feel more fatigued, it could actually impact your health. It probably does impact your abundance and, a lot of other things that go on. So the Feng Shui report is one of the biggest things that I will always recommend to somebody. And if you don't want that, then there's always something where I go in for a 2-hour consultation where we look at whatever is challenging you in your space. Because it may not just be for you, it's maybe for somebody else. So I totally knew what I can do is give a 10% discount off of my rates. And it's under the coupon code Straight Talk Energy. And I know that because it's straight talk energy, because we are really straight talking. We're talking about serious energy here, right? And I know it's a holiday season. So I was like, okay, let's do this. Instead of doing like a month thing, let's do it until the end of January, where all you have to do is book in. So as long as you book in and you've got yourself a date, you're good to go. So that's what I'm giving to all of you who are energy healers. Let's kind of boost your energy, not only yours, but the people in your home, the people that you love as well. And if you have a home office, that too.
Absolutely. So last question before we wrap up is, how can my audience reach you if they want to connect?
Sure, they can always hop on to Lovelight Home Design. There's a little button for you to contact me so that we can hop on a coffee date or an exploration call. I will send something out. So they can find it on lovelighthehomedesign.com. Or they can try and contact me at my number. Do you normally give like the numbers in our...
I have your email in the contact info right now. So
Okay.
is your email okay?
Sure. Yeah,
I've
okay,
got
cool.
Lovelight Home Design and your email, Tasia at lovelighthehomedesign.com.
Yes,
So
you can find me either way. Yeah.
there. And if anybody can't remember the the coupon code or anything like that, you can reach out to her, or you can reach out to me. And I will get you in touch with my pal here. And so that's really where we want to end up. Tasia, thank you so much for being here. I think my audience got a wonderful taste of what you do, and hopefully they understand why it's so important and will rush you
too. Well, thank you for having me. It's been a wonderful visit.
And thank you to my audience for being here. As always, it is my pleasure. It means so much to me that you've taken time out of your day to come spend it with me and my awesome guests. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at info@acceleratedrelease.org. Beyond that, come visit me again. I'm here every week. Like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you again soon.